Hello guys, and welcome to this EC Aquatics video. So, I just realized that I have never really given you guys a full tour of all my aquariums. Out of all the videos I've put out, I've never once showed them all off in one video. So, I decided that I'm going to do that in today's video. And we're starting off here with my newest aquarium, my bristlenose pleco breeding tank. I added in the plecos about a week ago, and as you can see, there is no longer any algae on any of the plants. This pair of bristlenose plecos, which is right there currently, both of them, the male is in the front and the female is in the back. They have eaten every last little bit of algae that was in this tank in the span of about a week. And to be quite honest, the algae was all gone within 2 days of me adding them in. These guys are the real deal when it comes to algae eating. But as you can see, they're also quite dirty. They poop a lot because they eat a lot. So kind of, you can see, the benefits and the downsides of keeping plecos. But this tank has turned out really well, and it's going to continue evolving over the coming months and years. And hopefully I'll keep giving you guys updates on it. And now if we pan up on this rack, this was the tank that I set up to breed guppies and plecos. I think I titled that video How to Make Money Breeding Fish with One Tank or something like that. But this is a 20-gallon tall aquarium, and it's mostly dismantled at this point. I moved the plecos out of here down below, and I'm going to be draining this tank very, very soon. There's only a couple of little guppy fry in here that I'm going to be moving into one of my other tanks. Haven't decided which one yet. Probably going to be down with the plecos, but haven't quite decided, and this tank is going to be empty. And other than that, just tons and tons and tons of snails everywhere, and one assassin snail. But this tank did really well. I pulled out all the frog bit as well that was on here. It was a thick, thick mat of frog bit that I removed. This tank ended up being great. I just wanted to dismantle it and do the new thing with a dedicated pleco breeding aquarium. And then if we pan over from this rack over here, this is where I had all my breeding tanks that have now been dismantled, unfortunately. This was 2 grow-out tanks that I had crebensis fry in for a good 2 years. And then down below, that was another grow-out tank. This was my crebensis breeding aquarium, which is obviously now dismantled. And down there was my Bolivian ram breeding aquarium, which has also been dismantled. Right now, this tank is just a plant storage tank. It's just got a ton of plants of all kinds in there that I'm going to be using for an upcoming project that you guys will see probably within the next month or so. But yeah, most of these tanks are now empty. And then the last tank, sort of in my quote-unquote fish room that I have, is this. And this is been my most popular video by far, and this is the vampire crab paludarium. Now, the crabs have unfortunately passed away since I've published that video, and it is now just, a place where I grow these plants, and I still really enjoy watching it, even if there's no crabs in the tank at all. I think this is one of my favorite aquariums that I've ever set up, and it's just kind of, I have the plants grow, and it kind of just sits idle and empty and doesn't really do anything, but I really enjoy looking at it, so I haven't broken it down yet. So next up is the quote-unquote mountain tank that I set up pretty recently as well. I think within the last couple of months, or at least I published a video a couple months ago. I think this tank's been set up for about 3 months now, and it's still doing absolutely wonderful. I added in my big male crebensis cichlid recently, and he's right there. There's a giant cave underneath all this wood that he loves to hang out in, and as you can see, he has done his little crebensis thing and dug around all the sand, kicked everything up, and just made a mess. But I really like him in this tank, and the plants and the other fish really don't seem to mind. This is our group of pencil fish right here, and there's a cherry barb in there as well. I just had one left over from a big group that I had, and I decided to toss her in here. There's a total of 8 pencil fish in here. I think there's 7 right here, but the other one's somewhere. Yeah, there's 6 there, but there are 8 in here. They like to hide back there. All the plants are doing wonderful. This Java fern's doing great. All of these, the crypts are doing great, and the Blixa japonica is also doing awesome. The stems in the back are taking off. They need a trim, and that taller crypt, that crypt, I think Balance is what it's called, in the back, is also doing wonderful. So yeah, this tank's doing really good. It's a 20-gallon aquarium. It's great. I really enjoy it. With the big heavy hardscape, not a lot of planting, I think it's doing quite well. The fish seem very, very happy. So the next aquarium is probably my favorite aquarium that I have ever set up. And this is my 10-gallon Blackwater aquarium. I set this thing up probably a year and a half ago at this point, maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember, but it's been up for a while. And I think it's been a year and a half, actually. It's been awesome from day one, no algae whatsoever. It's been a fantastic aquarium, and I really love this naturalistic look. I actually did a full video updating you guys on this tank a year after I published it. You guys have seemed to all love it as well. But yeah, it's still got my group of 12 glow light tetras and a Bolivian ram. This Bolivian ram was from the ram breeding aquarium, and I moved him or her, I think that's a female, up into this tank, and she seems very, very happy in here as well as kind of a feature fish. Up at the top, plant-wise, still got this giant mat of Amazon frogbit that just filters this tank really. That's really the big filtration, is the frogbit and this the substrate system. But yeah, I've never had any algae issues or any issues of any kind with this tank, and the fish seem very happy. They're probably doubled in size since I bought them, the glow light tetras. I've replaced the leaves a couple of times, but everything else is really, really awesome, and this tank is by far my favorite that I've ever set up. And then right next to this tank is a tank that I've never shown on this channel before. This is a tank I set up long before this channel existed. I think it's been set up for at least 4 years, if not more. I think I set this up right at the beginning of the pandemic in early 2020. And it's I guess one of those critter cages that they sell at Petco and PetSmart that I bought for about $15. And it's about 5 gallons. And right now it's holding this beautiful little female betta. She was not the original inhabitant. I originally had a different female betta in here, but obviously she has since passed away, since, bettas only live for about 3 years, and that's about how long that I had her with me. This tank is run by a sponge filter. It's got a little preset heater, and the plants are a Java fern and some crypt undulata right here, and a little bit of Amazon sword right in the back, and a mat of something that I can't remember that's floating. It's some kind of moss. I think maybe it's pearlweed or rickia or something like that. I honestly have no idea what this is, but that's just there. And I obviously really enjoy this tank since I haven't dismantled it for 4 years. It's just got one big piece of spiderwood right there. And yeah, I really, really enjoy this tank. It's been excellent for as long as it's been set up, and it's 4 years old, so it's so dialed in right now. There's no algae issues at all, and it's perfect for one little betta fish, and she seems very, very happy in this tank. So, and continuing on to my fish bowl, and this is about 4 gallons or so in length, or in volume, and it holds a trio of Endler guppies. There's our male right there, and there's one of the females, and the other female is right back there. This tank has been excellent. I've trimmed it back recently, but it's just full of different plants. It's got this dwarf sage has completely taken over everything, and there's a bunch of stem plants back there as well that I trimmed up because they were just getting so overgrown. I've trimmed this up several times in probably the 6 months since it's been set up, and this is got to be one of my favorite tanks that I've ever set up. It's very dialed in. It's got a little bit of algae, but nothing major. The fish seem very, very happy. And there's also some shrimp in here. There's one right down there. Yeah, but this tank is very, very good. There's no filter on this tank. The plants do all the filtration and the substrate as well. But yeah, the bioload is very low, so I can get away with not having a filter on this tank. And the fish, they seem happy, they're good, so I've seen no reason to add in any kind of a filter. And then my last aquarium here is this little jungle style aquarium with 6 different chili rasboras. And I set this tank up, I think 2-3 months ago, something like that. And yeah, this tank's been good. It's got a sponge filter and a heater running on it. It's been good. It's going through a little bit of an algae phase, but you know, that's fine. The algae's not, you know, covering the tank. It's just kind of on the plants. I've been treating it with CO2 booster. Yeah, the fish all seem happy. You see they're all colored up, really, really red, as the chili rasbora name implies. There's also some red cherry shrimp in here that are currently hiding. I can't see them right now, but there's a big group of them in here that I added in. Yeah, this tank is also going good. As soon as I get the algae squared away, it's going to be really, really good as well. And the last, I guess it's not an aquarium, but the thing that I want to show you is my pond. And this pond I also built before the channel existed. This was a quarantine project. I was bored during COVID and decided to build myself a pond in the backyard. And this pond is wonderful. It's just chocked full of plants. There's a big iris right there. There's some hibiscus right there. There's a cattail right there. I got some lilies and I got some kind of Sagittaria plant right there. All the plants are doing, you know, awesome, as you can see. And down below I've got a group of goldfish and koi that I'm gonna feed right now just to show off. There's 2 koi and I think 7 goldfish or something like that. This pond's about 700 gallons, so it's lightly stocked, but I don't feel the need to add in any more fish. There's also some rosy red minnows and some mosquito fish in here as well, and a bunch of frogs visit this pond, but I didn't add them in, and they kind of make themselves at home. I can't see any of them right now, as it's been cold the last couple of days, so they're probably hiding somewhere, but I get anywhere between probably 4 and 10 frogs in a pond every summer. And filtering this pond, I've got a waterfall right here. It's got a little bit of algae in there that I got to pull out, but there's a skimmer right there with a filter pad in there. And then over here, where you can see that water running, I have a flat box filter hidden down there below the lilies, and it just runs this pipe that pours water into this much more boggy section of the pond. Yeah, but the plants do a lot of the filtration, and there's really no algae whatsoever in this pond. The rocks, you know, have been in here for 4 years. The beneficial bacteria colonies are fully established, and these plants, because of the fact that they have access to the exterior CO2, pull tons and tons of nutrients out of the water, and they're the ones that are doing the vast majority of the filtration on this pond. So let's see if I can't get all my fish to come out here, feed them a little bit of food, and they should hopefully all pop up. Yeah, you can see them all coming up. Some goldfish. There's our big koi. A couple more goldfish in here. There's some more goldfish, and there's our other silvery koi. This is really all the fish I've got in this tank, or in the pond, or all the large fish. There's a ton of babies and minnows and that kind of stuff, but of the big fish, this is all I've really got, and I don't really feel the need, you know, to add in a ton more fish, because they're going to breed, and they have bred already in this pond, but they're going to keep breeding, and they all seem very happy, and I don't really feel the need to chuck fish in this pond and have, you know, 50 different fish in the pond. I don't think that is healthy for the goldfish, and I don't think that the pond would benefit from having all these different fish in there. So that's all my aquariums and my pond. So thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you all in the next one.